Interesting day in court today. Well, rather, it was more of an administration day. Now that the alleged confessions, no, the judge says he doesn't want to call them confessions, let's call them statements. Now that Buta and Steffi's statements are being admitted into the record, they were then read into the record. All three statements were read into the record. So that's for accused number 1, accused number 2, and accused number 3 were all read into the record. Now, there was also some additional documents and that were going to be added to the record, which was that of, I think they said, Captain Morris. And then the judge asked Mkhabayi if she has any objections. Well, not just her, but all the defense attorneys. And, Mkhabayi stood up and she stood there. And first of all, Mkhabayi said she objects, okay? And you could tell Mkhabayi was still up in her feelings. Mkhabayi was still up in her feelings since last week, Thursday, when these statements were admitted. And she specifically says, no, we can't be admitting that unless the captain is called to the stand. The judge immediately says, but that's not the conversation. That is not the conversation at hand. So then she literally then says, no, I object to the CDs being handed in because, my client has to watch those videos. And the judge is like, nobody spoke about handing them in. I agreed that Captain Morris has to come and play the videos and then he can be cross-examined. Nobody spoke about anything. So you know what? And it takes me back to, does she have... This is going to sound bad, but it's really my question. Does she have active listening skills? This is not the first time this has happened. So it's as if she stood up to object and had objection 1 and objection 2, regardless of what the judge says. So objection 2 kind of felt irrelevant because nobody spoke about handing up the CDs because the judge accepted that Captain Morris has to come to the stand. So I feel that something's going on with Advocate Mkhabayi, Ms. Mkhabayi. Something is going on there. Maybe she struggles with handling disappointment or handling failure with regards to the statements. Now, today as well, they read the statements into the record. I'm going to speak about that in a separate video because I have a lot to say. Now that those statements were read in their entirety into the record, so stay tuned for my next video. So let's go ahead and listen to Mkhabayi over here. And you'll hear for yourself and let me know if you agree whether Mkhabayi kind of was giving Judge Nathan, I almost said Judge Rata. Yes, I've been in 2 courtrooms today. But let me know if you agree if Mkhabayi was giving Judge Nathan attitude or that's just simply her demeanor. Is that her demeanor and is that the stance she's going to take throughout the trial? Because, the trial is almost over. That's another thing that we discovered today, that, by tomorrow afternoon, the state's, what is it called? The state's case would be done. The state's case would be done. Then we go to the defense's case and then ruling. If there's one thing about Judge Nathan, he's on a roll and he keeps to his word. They are not going to drag out this trial. This trial is not going to go on forever and ever and ever. But the question still remains, where is JOSHLIN Smith? Will we find out during this trial where she is, what exactly happened to her, and if it's going to be one of the 3 that finally cracked? Well, let me end this here. Let's go ahead and watch Mkhabayi versus the judge. I can't believe I'm doing another Mkhabayi versus the judge video, but here goes.
Morning. So it's 2 things. Captain or Colonel Morris, what's your stance on him?
Colonel Morris, my lord, has to come and give evidence, and my client has to watch the video.
All right. Let's proceed today, and then you can maybe arrange that he's here tomorrow morning, because it's not going to make sense to get him down this afternoon. We can always do the rest of the stuff to fill up the day.
Therefore, I will object to the CDs or the videos being handed in before Colonel Morris come and give evidence.
There's no indication it will be handed in. As I've indicated, they must arrange for him to be here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it in the regular way. Right. Second, she mentioned something about DNA evidence that will be part of Captain Lombard's evidence.
My Lord, as far as the DNA reports are concerned, I didn't have time to consult with my client first. I will need to take instructions.
Well, you've had the discovery since a few months ago. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm not going to waste unnecessary time. So let's get the evidence on record, and then when it comes to cross-examination, we can cross that bridge. Then there's the transcript on Exhibit 3, the one that the prosecutor had typed up of the audio. Did you have an opportunity to look at it?
Yes, I did, my Lord.
And?
No objection, please.
Good. So we can deal with that also as a stopgap this afternoon if we need time. Thank you. Anything else from your side, Ms. Mkhabayi?
Nothing, my Lord, except that I've requested the registrar to prepare for the defense for choose number 2 a transcribed record.
A transcribed record? What do you mean? What do you mean by a transcribed record? A typed record?
Yes, my Lord.
We don't provide that. A transcribed record.
And what is the procedure, my Lord, if a defense is looking for a transcribed record?
The procedure is you have to apply. The record is transcribed by official transcribers. It's not the norm. It needs my approval. I'm aware that you are on Judicare, so legal aid will have to pay for the record if we go that route. It will be costly, I can tell you now. It will cause an enormous delay in having the record transcribed. You can bring the application, I will consider it, but we have gone the extra mile. Talking about my registrar on my request. In criminal matters, we continue, people take notes as we go along. Because of the length of the matter, I decided in the beginning of this trial to create a system to assist all the parties. You will recall, and you would receive a daily record because I can see it coming in. The DCRS official, Mrs. Kok, in the afternoons, download from our recording system the audio, which we then upload onto a specific team that we created for this case, to which all the parties have access. That's also where I access the videos. I can see it on a daily basis as it's updated. I was informed during the course of last week, there was one day where you indicated to Ms. Naidu Chetty you didn't receive the link. But that link it's an ongoing link. It's a team that sits under the tile of Erasmus J. It's my team that we created. And if you go in there, you'll see I've got a number of cases over time. And for now, if one go to files and you go to the latest update, it will always be the Apollos matter because it's updated on a daily basis. If you then click on that tile, you will get every day's recordings, the videos, everything's there. That's an add-on. It is merely created to assist the parties. You can bring the application, we can deal with it this afternoon, and I can rule on it. But I must indicate to you that I don't know where this thing comes from. I've heard about it, that people want running records. I have ordered in the past running records. But it's the exception to the rule. I've become aware of it because I read records on appeals and so forth. It's something alien to me that counsel wants a transcript during the course of a trial and a running record. It's almost impossible now to go back for a running record in this case. I would just want to give you the heads up so that you know. Anything else?
Nothing, my lord.
Thank you. Mr. Sivnarayan?